All right, question of the day. What is an underserved, in your opinion, theme or mechanic that has not been used? Not a mechanic, sorry. Actually, you know what? Let's keep the question that broad because really I'm talking about theme when it comes to this game, but I want to know what mechanic you think is underutilized. Because today we're going to talk about one that I do love that is a little bit underutilized, and it's one of my favorite mechanics and also one of my favorite themes that's underutilized. So, double question for the day. So, today we're taking a look at 1930, not the year of the game. Now, if you've played train games or if you've followed any of my reviews, including my top 100, you'll know that I have an affinity for 18xx games. For those who don't know what that is, it is a, well, it sounds like it'd be an inappropriate game based on if you just saw it 18xx, but no, the game is 18 and then two numbers or letters to denote a train situation, a train game based on a certain year. So 1830, 1890, 18 Chesapeake would be 18, the Chesapeake area, 18 AL was 18 Alabama. Some of them are just very homemade looking. Some of them are very nice looking, like 18 Chesapeake and the 1830 by Mayfair. So 18xx games are a type of stock and trading games for trains, but this is 1930, and there's a reason it sounds similar is because Rio Grande has done this huge run of train games, including 1930, which is not a train game, it's an airplane game, all about the same kind of mechanics that we're going to talk about. So let's dive into 1930. That's enough of me talking. I'll do a quick overview, and then we'll come back up to talk final thoughts. All right, this is 1930 setup here. Now, there are two sides of this board for different player counts. There are different airlines here that have home bases, things like Pan Am, East Air. You're going to get a company, or not a company, you're going to get a personal player board as well. It's going to give you a great rules reference, where you keep your stocks and shares or cash, how many stock tokens you've used, because you can only take 7 actions max or as many stock tokens as you have, whichever hits first. And then this gives you a quick dividends per share, CEO fly choices. So if you're the CEO, you have these abilities to do. If you're not, if there's no CEO in the company, as in somebody doesn't have enough shares to be the CEO, this is how the flow chart will work for the actions. Now, on your turn, again, you don't play as the red player out there, but you can invest in this airline, no matter who you are, invest in it, become the CEO, and then start doing operations. Now, there are other things in this that make it a little bit different. You have your starting income card, starting things here. You're going to have operations phases where you do actions with the planes. Things that you can do are going to be expand. You can read it there: relocate, upgrade, open, hub, research, fly, and stand. So when you choose to fly, that's when you're going to choose to do, how much you can make from that route. So you're going to get your amount. So, Denver produces 6 basically, but it's upgraded. You can produce 8 or 10. Then you can kind of divide that up per share. All right. That's how it works. Then the things you can do, you can relocate, you can move your gates. So you can have a gate here, you can move it to another city. When you place that gate, you're going to take that bonus, the +2. I'm not going to give you a full teach of everything, but you can upgrade by putting these city markers on here to upgrade these to become better. You can research, you can bump your technology level up. That allows you to fly in the different colors, basically yellow, then green, then brown, then gray. You can also open, that means open a city and place one airline gate on that city from the stock or moved. So that's going to be your basic operation. So essentially, you're trying to run and fly each of these airlines in order to gain the most profits. The stock rounds are going to work by letting you buy stock into other people's companies once a company floats immediately once it's bought. So that's different than a lot of things. So a couple things that are different. There is no personal money versus company money. So the company money is going to be different versus the player money and all that sort of stuff. So you're going to be betting and playing into not betting, you're going to be investing, but you're going to choose those dividends to get paid to you. And then also you can choose half dividends and upgrade or all dividends or things like that. So in an 18xx game, normally you would be able to take the money into the company and then choose to either pay it out to the shareholders or not. This is a little more streamlined and a little easier to get into, where it's less as heavy as that, where basically the company money doesn't exist. It's all personal money when it comes to this. However, this, as a CEO, you can make choices about investing in the airplane by doing things like technology or upgrades. So it kind of abstracts that notion. You'll play to the end of 6 rounds. The person with the most money wins the game. And now that money will also count your stock tokens, as many stock tokens you have per the price of that company over there. So if you've been following my reviews for this year, and this is some of the last reviews I'll be doing for the year, I've got 2 more roundups that you'll see at the end of the year. This is a rubric system that we've done all year that we obviously will continue on with. This will be now how I permanently do reviews. Out of the 9 years, I think, of doing reviews for the Dice Tower, this has now become the permanent way. So, first of all, concept is a 9. I give it a 9 because there aren't a lot of games that deal with this idea of setting up, you're not flying a plane, you're not rescuing a plane, you're actually running a company or companies in order to put air routes out there and flight paths. I think that's really cool and it's underutilized, and I think it should be in more games because I really like the notion of flying like that. Board layout. This is an 8 for me. Now, I know it's not, we'll get to why this is higher than some of the other things that you'll see in a minute that I really ding this game hard for. The board layout is good because you have your stuff in your personal player area, you have your companies that you invest in and buy in, and then you also have the board with the stuff that's on it and the different colors based on, if you played 18xx games, that means, base, later, and latest type of, not track normally, but this type of like stations or airports and things like that. So it actually makes sense, and coupled with the rule book, it really makes sense. I especially like that what you can do and when is on those company boards. It's on either the company board or the little player board there, so that you know what you can do on your turn. And if you ever have any questions, you can just look right there. So I think that's really well done. I gave the mechanics a 9. Now, why do I give it a 9? Because I love indirect control of a company. I love that I can buy into this company, become the president, start taking actions for this player color on the board, invest in it, give dividends out to people who invest in with me. I can invest in another company and also do actions for that company. So unlike your normal game where I play purple, I do actions for purple. No, in this one, I may invest in the purple company. I'll do actions for that until somebody outbids me and becomes the president of the company. Now they start taking actions, but I'm still invested in the company. So I'm going to get dividends and shares from that company. I love that mechanic. So having that be a primary driver. Now it's stripped down from a more complex 18xx game because there's some things you can't do when it comes to the stocks and trades, but I think that makes it easier to get the hang of this one instead of trying to dive into like 1890 straight up, right? Art direction is a 6. Now, why is it a 6 even though I just said I like the board layout? Even though this is trying to do, I'll go ahead and couple these together. Art direction and art components are a 6. Even though they are trying to keep with the theme and styles and colors of 18xx games, there's no reason the game had to be this bland looking. The map could have looked better. It could have looked, because I've always said this about Twilight Struggle. I don't mind the art being what it is in Twilight Struggle's board because it looks like something off your history class wall. This is not meant to be history class. This is meant to be tycoons and billionaires and millionaires or whatever. You're supposed to be buying in. There will be blood style, except later, obviously, because this is planes. I want that like tycoons. I want that music to be playing the, like the music that they play about Biff Tannen when it's like Biff Tannen bought his first hotel and the alternate 1985, or JBL's music. You got the stock market bell ringing, ding 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 ding. It sounds very like Pioneer or very much like Tycoon. I want that when it comes to this game. I want that whole aesthetic and art style in this game, and it's just not there. So both of these are a 6, which will drop that final score some for how much I really like this game. So let's go back to the positive. Gameplay is also a 9. Not only do you have those stocks and mechanics, I just like how this game works. I like that you're not running routes. You can choose to pay dividends out to all the investors or keep the money inside of the company. Stock price can go up, stock price can go down, and you can win based on having the most money at the end of the game, or you do win having the most money. But having the most shares of the most valuable shares is also huge. So gameplay's a 9. Rulebook's at 8.5. Solid. You can learn how to play from this really easily, especially since it's done in that style of those train games and 18xx games. So it's very easy to learn. So all in all, aggregated together, this gives us a total 8. It's a high score. And this is in my top 100, and it was in my top of the year. The only things that drag it down are things that I don't mind as much, even though I've got to be objective with my scoring. I don't mind art as much as gameplay or mechanics. I will let something slide for art more than I will for mechanics and gameplay. I can look at something boring, but I don't want to play something boring, if that makes sense. So this is an 8 for me. I really like 1930. I wish it had a nice, prettier edition, but this is what it is. 1930 Rio Grande Games. Huge fan of this game. I'm Brian Drake on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, X, and all that stuff at Dice Tower Brian. And I will see you in 2 weeks here on the crew. 1.5 weeks on the cruise. Merry Christmas, because you will see this tomorrow. And we are 4 days out from Christmas on the day that you see this. Also, I'm very excited. My computer that died a couple years ago is back. It's right here. So excited. Is that the... Oh, that's the metal of it. I didn't know that was on frame. Anyway, I'll see you soon.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vassell.